Jan is the General Manager, LA Economic Workforce and Development. Uh, Former councilwoman where I got a chance to work with her so close in the Ninth District when I was running the Dunbar Hotel for the city. And we were just talking about revitalization and workforce, and this is what Jan has just been known for and has just done an excellent job with all that working in terms of jobs and creating economic development, certainly in our neighborhoods and in our area where we are. So I understand that Jan may be looking at a new exciting career and that she may tell us about, and we want to hear from you. Let's welcome Jan. Want to take your coat first, please?
I'm fine. I'll just put it over here.
Okay.
So I have to tell you, I had another meeting before I came here, and then I'm ready. Okay, get on the 110 freeway. I'll be there in 18 minutes. And then something happened, and so then I get here, and no parking on Western, so Malcolm told me to go to the back, and I went down the alley, and I have to admit to you that I think I murdered a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, it's been out there. Somebody
okay, because I think I have a little SUV, so I kind of rolled over it, but it's okay. Anyway, so I love you guys, so I just pushed on through it, and I wanted to be here with you tonight just to say a few words. I know the hour is late, and I can come back and we can talk in greater depth about some of the opportunities that are out there to enhance your infrastructure in your communities, and to talk more about your property issues. But just suffice it to say that I did file to run for Los Angeles County Supervisor. So I have filed to run in the 2nd District, and this is the 2nd District. I filed, I think earlier this week the papers got filed. And I'm very, 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 very excited because I want to get back to wrestling and digging in deep on the issues that I know are important to you, and they were important to me as a council person. And I am excited about the prospect of being able to work on those issues, to build more housing, develop more housing, to preserve housing, to help people build equity in their own communities, are things that I'm very passionate about. I'm so passionate about it that on December the 31st of this 2018, I resigned from my position at the city, where I'd been for 5.5 years after I left office as the general manager of economic and workforce development. And it was a great 5.5 years and gained enormous experience. And now I have another job as executive director of the Infrastructure Funding Alliance. And so I'd like to come back and talk with you at some point about some of the things that we do and how it may be beneficial to you. Things like the opportunity zones and opportunity zone funds and enhanced infrastructure financing districts and tax increment and how it can help you improve communities, improve lighting, streets, curbs, gutters, the way a community looks, and again, it all goes to enhancing property values. So, we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little later. But, not too much later, but when I get here earlier, so, people will be more happy to hear from me, not so late, because people are tired. But suffice it to say that the 2nd District, as many of you know, encompasses a very large area, much of the area south of the 10 freeway, going on into Compton, Carson, Culver City, Gardena, Hawthorne, Inglewood, then wraps back around with a little bit of Westchester thrown in, some of Mar Vista, some of Palms, some of Playa Vista. So it's a very, very, very diverse district, one of the most diverse districts within the supervisorial districts, of which there are 5. And the county has roughly 10 million people, and they're somewhat equally divided amongst population. There's a lot of enormous potential here. I have a very strong track record in building housing throughout my former council district, and I can give you the numbers on that. I built a lot of housing, permanent supportive housing with support services on site for people who were formerly homeless, because it was always my mission to get people off the street, and it was a condition that I never thought was acceptable, nor did I think it should be encouraged. And I built housing, working with all sorts of housing developers to build, it was 1,200 units of supportive housing, but I built 5,670 units of affordable housing. And for those of you who've had to build housing, you know how long that takes and how hard it is to get through, particularly in the city of Los Angeles. It's not as complicated when you go into smaller cities, but in the city of Los Angeles, it's challenging and it's complicated. But ultimately, I persisted and was able to do that and get a lot of people, off the street and into housing. And then that, if you're interested, when I come back and speak longer, we can talk in greater depth about that and about some of the ideas that I've wanted to implement since, in my new role, and I would implement as a supervisor to deal with encampments and to get people off the street and to do it in a way that's not only humane, but to put people into a pipeline for psychiatric help, medical help, housing stabilization, and to move things along a bit quicker. And it's I think a controversial topic because, I think I always went against the grain and I did my own thing because I spend a lot of time in the community actually being with people and talking to people and hearing what they have to say and then trying to design policies and incorporate their energy and their input and their involvement in the implementation of it. But ultimately, I think your local government representative, whether it's at the city or the county, has to be responsive and to be proactive. And sometimes that might mean making other elected officials mad, but you're the client, you're the customer. And we are here to serve you and not to serve our interests or the interests of others who are in elected office. At the end of the day, a wise elected official once told me, you know what, you can do a good job or you can do a bad job. You're still going to get paid every 2 weeks. So you might as well do a good job. Okay? And that's what we're here, and that's what we're supposed to do. This is a privilege to be able to do a job like this. Okay? Because you can actually transform people's lives. You can make some of their dreams actually come true. And you can make them have a better life depending on the way you access resources to make their lives easier. And that's the way I perceive this opportunity to run for supervisor. And so if you'll have me back, and I'll work it out with Malcolm, and then this time I'll probably leave at like 4 in the afternoon so I can be here by 7. So I'd like to come back, and then if you feel like it, you can ask me some questions tonight, or think about it when I come back. You can ask me whatever you want. Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, I'm gonna make an early announcement,
All right.
and that I'm in support of Jan. I'm gonna be working on her committee, and we're gonna be out there raising money, knocking on doors.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna be asking for support from our members here,
Thank you.
because we know you're the person for the job.
And he knows how to walk too. Yeah. Thank you, Malcolm. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, you're real good. Thanks, Jan. Let's get rid. Thanks,
everybody.
Jan.
All right.